Hi dear students, how are you? After long days I getting the chance to see you. Very nice to see you dear students. I am Selvarasu, your physics teacher in Sri Vidya Mandir Metric Higher Secondary School, Uttangarai. Dear students, I hope all are fit and fine in your home. Due to the corona pandemic, the whole country has locked down itself. The country is struggling with schools, teachers and lack of education. Most of the schools of the country have started online classes. Dear students, you must take advantage of this opportunity. Our school management also started this channel for giving the online classes to continue your study. It is easy to make the connection with you all, and it will help us to cover the syllabus and to maintain the flow of study. This connection is not limited to the class, but the session will be available for all with the curriculum. I recommend you take the practice, especially in physics, definitions, formula, diagrams, explanations and other facts also. I love to see your individual talents and strengths. If you have any query, you can ask in the WhatsApp group. I welcome you all to join the online classes. I hope to see you soon in the class. Stay home, stay safe. Dear students, in 10th standard physics, the name of the first lesson is Laws of Motion. Now we are going to discuss about the lesson in Laws of Motion. What is the name of the lesson? Laws of Motion. Dear students, human beings are very curious to know about the surrounding things. So if you look at the surrounding things, some things are in rest state, some things are in motion state. So already in your lower classes itself, you have studied or got some ideas about what is the rest, what is the motion. I think need not explain here, but even though you should know about that, what is the rest and the motion. Rest is nothing but, dear students, it is if an object does not change its position with respect to time and surrounding things, that is said to be rest. Motion is nothing but, dear students, if an object changes its position with respect to time and surrounding things, this is said to be motion. For example, if I consider this is one object, okay, this object is lying on a where? Surface of this book. If I ask you question, what is the state of an object? You can say this object in the rest state, isn't it? How can we say? Because of it's not moving, it's not changing, it does not change its position. If in case it will be change its position means definitely it will move. So while it is moving, it will take some time for moving one place to another place, and not only that it will move from surrounding things. For example, here what is it? One object is there means this object is moving with respect to another object. Okay, so that's why what I am saying, if an object does not changes its position with respect to time. If an object not changing its position means here definitely it will not take the time. So that's why we are saying it is the object in the rest state. So if an object is moving, for example, if we considering what is that moving bus. While the bus is moving in a road, it will take some time from one place to another place for moving. Isn't it yes or no? That is said to be motion. For example, earth always what is it? Rotating. So that is a good example for motion. Rest state, I can give one example, rock. So rock is not moving, it is always staying at one place. So these are the difference between rest and motion. So rest means if an object does not change its position with respect to time and surrounding things, and motion means if an object changes its position with respect to time and surrounding things, that is said to be motion. So one more thing here, they are saying rest and motion interrelated to each other. Rest and motion interrelated to each other. How can we say rest and motion interrelated to each other? So let us consider you and your friend are traveling in a bus, or traveling, not bus, traveling in a train. While you are both of them just sitting opposite to each other in the seat. So while you are considering each other, your position, so definitely you can experience both are in the rest state. But in case while the train is moving from the station, so if you look at any object through the windows, what will happen? While the train is start to moving from the station, if you look out any object through the windows, definitely you will be in the motion. You can experience in the motion state. So that's why they are saying rest and motion interrelated to each other. Okay. So next we are discussed in our lower classes different types of motion. So in this lesson we full talk about the motion. Okay. So what are the motions we have discussed in your lower classes? Linear motion. What is that? Linear motion, circular motion, motion, oscillatory motion. What is that? Oscillatory motion, and so on. Okay, like this different types of motion we have discussed. So if I ask a question, what is the linear motion? What is the circular motion? What is the oscillatory motion? You can say linear motion is nothing but, students, if an object travel in a straight path or straight line. Let us consider this is the straight path. If an object, is travel in a straight path, that motion is said to be linear motion. If an object moving in a straight path, that motion is said to be linear motion. Circular motion is nothing but, dear students, what is it? If an object moving in a circular path, that motion is said to be circular motion. For example, fan is rotating with respect to circular path. Okay, and oscillatory motion, what is it? To and fro motion. Those object undergoes for the to and fro motion. Pendulum or a clock So if an object, this is said to be to and fro motion. So if an object undergoes for the to and fro motion, that what is that object is said to be oscillatory motion. So these are the topic, which means motions we have discussed in our lower classes. So far we have discussed displacement and velocity, acceleration, some other topic in the motion terms. So now we are going to discuss elaborately about the cause of motion. I am going to ask some question. Okay, I am going to ask some question. When object, starts to moving from the rest state. When object, let us consider one object. It is in the rest state. So it is start to moving from rest state to motion state. When object start to moving from rest state to motion state. Here, a question arises, in our mind? What makes the object move from rest state to motion state? The first question, this is the first question. What causes or what makes object move from rest state to motion state? If an object, comes from the motion state to rest state, again one more time, second question I will going to ask, what brings the object from motion state to rest state? While the object in the motion, if it is comes to the rest state, means what brings the object from motion to rest? Next question, when object in the motion state, the speeds up or down. Which one makes the object to speeds up or down at the same time changes its directions? So there are 4 questions just arriving in our mind. What are the 4 questions? The first one is what causes or what makes the object move from rest state to motion state. The second question, what brings the object the state of motion state to rest state. And third question, which one causes or speeds up and speeds down the object. And fourth question, which one changes the direction of an object. There are 4 questions. Dear students, if I ask you a question, what is that? If I ask you answer for these 4 questions, definitely you can say the answer in a single word. What are that single word answer? That is force. What is that? Force. So force only playing very major role in our day-to-day life. Okay, force is playing very major role in our day-to-day life. Without having the force, we are not able to involve in our day-to-day activities. If you want to be lift the pot of water, or push the table, or open the door, whatever may be, definitely we need force. Okay, so for all this, if you want to be change the state of an object, which means from rest state to motion, or motion state to rest state, or increase or decrease the speed, or change its direction, for all these activities, definitely we are able to change or do this activity using by the force. But what is the force here? Force is nothing but, students, that is push or pull. Force is one of the external agency, or otherwise we can say external effort. So what effort here? So we are giving the effort, or we are changing the day-to-day activities using by the external agency. That external agency only we are saying push or pull. What is that? Push or pull. A push or pull acting on an object which changes or tends to change the state of an object. So while we are let us consider object in the rest state. So if you want to be change the state of an object, which means from rest state to motion state, what should we do? We should apply the force here. Without applying the force, we are not able to change the state of an object from rest state to motion state. Okay, so whether either the changing this object, either the giving the force push or pull. Okay, push or pull. So this is said to be force. Force is nothing but push or pull acting on an object which changes or tends to change the state of an object. Okay, so without having the force, we are not able to change the state of an object. It is playing very major role in our day-to-day life. So this force we can define in scientific manner using by the 3 laws proposed by the Sir Isaac Newton. What are the 3 laws for motion? First law of motion, second law of motion, and third law of motion. These are the 3 laws. So using by these 3 laws, we can easily or elaborately explain with more scientific manner for a force. Okay. Next topic we are going to discuss about mechanics. What is that? Mechanics. Mechanics is nothing but, dear students, branch of physics which deals with the effect of force on acting on bodies. So it is a branch of physics which deals with the effects of force acting on the body. Okay, to study about or deals with the effects of force. Effects of force. So here I introduced one word, effects of force. What is the effects of force? What is that? Let us consider one object. Okay, object is there in the rest state. While you are applying the force, what will happen? The object will start to move, isn't it? Yes or no? Something will be happen, which means something will be happen means it will change its state by applying the force. So why the object is moving? Because of applying the force. If you are not applying the force here, definitely the object does not move. Isn't it yes or no? So the object is changing its position from resistor to motion by applying the force. So whenever we are applying the force, some changes will be occur. That changes only we are saying effects of force. That changes only we are saying effects of force. Okay. So now we are going to study. If you want to study about the effects of force, one topic is there. The name of the topic is mechanics. Okay. So the mechanics can be divided into two branches, namely statics and dynamics. The mechanics can be divided two branches, namely first one is statics. The second one is dynamics. What is that? Dynamics. What is the statics? Statics is a branch of mechanics. Dynamics also branch of mechanics. Now statics is which deals with the bodies which are at rest under the action of forces. So in this topic, we full study about what is that? Rest, the state of the rest, a rest state of an object. So the dynamics is nothing but it is a branch of mechanics which deals with the motion of the object under the action of forces. This is motion of an object. So whenever we are getting the chance to read this word statics, static which means rest, dynamics means motion. Okay, what is that? Dynamics nothing but motion. So statics which deals with the what is that? Rest state of an object under the action of force. Dynamics deals with the motion of an object under the action of force. So dynamics further we can divide into two categories or two branches. The first one is kinematics. What is that? Kinematics. Next one, the second topic, kinetics. What is that? Kinetics. Dynamics can be classified into one is the kinematics, another one is the kinetics. Already told you, dynamics nothing but full study about the motion of an object. So here, what are the difference between kinematics and kinetics? So kinematics nothing but study about the motion of the object, which deals with the motion of the object without considering the cause of motion. Without considering the cause of motion. Study about the motion of an object without considering the cause of motion. So, what is the cause of motion here? See, already we have discussed. If an object in the rest state means, if you want to be changed, or if you want to be make this object undergoes for the motion, what should we do here? We should apply the force. So force is nothing but, yes students, that is a cause of motion. So force making an object, force cause that object to move. Isn't it yes or no? So force is we can say cause of motion. So in this kinematics, this is also full study about the motion of an object, which deals with the motion of an object, but here without considering the cause of motion. Here cause of motion is nothing but that is we said to be what? Force. So we should not consider here without considering the cause of what is that? Motion. Force is the cause of motion. Kinetic is nothing but which deals with the motion of an object with considering the cause of motion. So here we should consider the force. We should consider the force. Here we should not consider the force. Here we should consider the force. So these are the what is that? The small explanation about mechanics. Next we are going to discuss about the topic name is, dear students, force and motion. What is that? Force and motion. In this topic, what we are going to discuss? The first one is Aristotle. According to the Aristotle statement, is a Greek philosopher and scientist. According to the Aristotle. According to the Aristotle statement, is a Greek philosopher and a scientist. All natural earthly bodies in a state of rest. All natural earthly bodies in a state of rest. Suppose if an object in a motion state automatically, naturally, if it is comes to the rest state by itself, without applying any force, that motion is said to be, what is that? Natural motion. According to the Aristotle statement, the first one is Aristotle statement, the first one is natural motion. Natural motion. What is the natural motion? When object in the motion, if it is comes to the rest state without applying any force on it, that motion is said to be natural motion. The second one is the force is needed to be change the state of rest of an object, from state of rest of an object to the motion state. That motion is said to be, what is that? Violent motion. Second one is, what is the second one is? Violent motion. What is the violent motion? Natural motion. Again, one more time I will tell you. Dear students, you should understand. Let us consider. One football is rolling on a ground. So it is automatically, naturally comes to the rest state without applying any force. If we are not, now what is that? Without applying, if we are not applying any force, automatically the moving object comes to the rest state. That motion is said to be natural motion. So here, one object in the rest state. One object, the same football we should take here. It is lying on a ground in the rest state. If you want to be just make it this object, football, undergoes for the motion, what should we do? We should apply the force. Then only the object start to move. So here we are using the force. If you want to be change the state of an object, definitely we are now what is that? We can change using by the force. So that's why they are saying violent motion. Without applying the force, if we are changing any state of an object, that is we said to be natural motion. Here, if we change the state of an object with applying the force, that is we said to be violent motion. These are the difference between two natural and violent. Can understand, dear students? And the third point is, what is the third point? Two different mass of an object. Let us consider. This is the one object. This is the another object. Object. Let us give the name for this object A, and this is the object B. The object A has heavier mass. What is that? Heavier mass M1, which is equal to 10 kilogram. Object B has lesser mass. Let us assume M2 equal to 5 kilogram. So we can say this is like this. M1 is greater than M2 according by this mass. Is that yes or no? So these are the two objects with a different mass. Two different mass of an object. While we are dropping from the particular height, what will happen? The two, the heavier object come and reach to the earth faster than that of the lighter one. So the object A is a heavier one, object B is a lighter one. So object A come and reach to the earth with very fast, or then the object B. So these are the three statements proposed by the Aristotle. Okay, dear students, after the Aristotle, another one person is coming. The name of the person is Galileo. What is that? Galileo. Galileo is a scientist. He also full and full explained about the force and motion. He proposed there are 4 statements according by the Galileo. The first statement is all earthly bodies in the state of rest or of uniform motion. This is the first statement. All earthly bodies in the state of rest or in the uniform motion. This is the first statement proposed by the Galileo. All earthly bodies in the state of rest or of uniform motion. The second point is, if an object in the motion state, it is continued to, the object continued to be in the same motion state, uniform motion state, as long as apply the no external force act on it. For example, let us consider this object in the motion state. So, what is that? How long the object in the motion state? As long as till we are not applying the force on it, it is continued to be the same state of motion. So if you apply the force, definitely some changes will be occur. Isn't it? Yes or no? So likewise here also, according by the Galileo statement, what he is saying, if an object, what is that? If an object in the state of motion, it is what is it? If an object in the state of motion, it is continued to be in the same state of motion as long as apply the no external force on it. Okay, as long as apply the no external force act on it. The first one is all earthly bodies in the same state of rest or of uniform motion. The second one is if an object in the state of motion, so it is continue to be in the same state of motion as long as no external force act on it. Next one is third point. What is saying? Either the object in the rest state or uniform motion state. While we try to change the state of an object, what will happen? Definitely the object will be opposed to change the state of an object. That property only we are saying. What is that? Inertia. So inertia is nothing but, dear students, while we try to change any state of an object, either in the state of rest or of uniform motion, so definitely it will not allow to change the state of an object. So instead of allow to change the state of an object, it will be opposed. That opposing property only we are saying. What is that? Inertia. The third point is, what are the third point? That is inertia. Okay, and the fourth one is, there are two different mass, shape, size of an object dropping from the particular height in vacuum. What will happen? The both object will come and reach to the earth, falling with the same rate and reach to the earth with the same time. Whatever may be, either it will be what is the different shape or different mass or different size. So it doesn't matter. But so the object are two different mass, shape, size of an object, dropping from the particular height in the vacuum, what will happen? It is falls with the same rate and reach to the earth with the same time. So this is the fourth point. What is that? Proposed by the Galileo. Can you understand, dear students? Next we are going to discuss about the topic name is inertia. What is that? Inertia. Inertia is nothing but, dear students, the inability of the body. What is that? The inability of the body to change state of rest or of uniform motion by itself. This is said to be inertia. What is that? Inertia. Inertia is nothing but, dear students, inability of your body to change its state or of uniform motion by itself. It is said to be inertia. Okay, I can give some examples. While you are traveling by the bus, which means while you are traveling in the bus, if the driver suddenly applies the brake, what will happen? Our body leans in the forward direction. Isn't it yes or no? In case, if what is that? Bus in the rest state, it starts to move, what will happen? Our body leans in the backward directions. So while we are traveling in the bus, driver suddenly applies the brake, our body leans in the forward direction. So the bus, what is that? Starts from rest state to motion state, our body leans in the backward directions. Why? Because of, what is that? Inertia. So inertia is nothing but, which means before the driver applies the brake, the bus was in the motion state. When driver applies the brake, what's happening? Our body, what is that? Continue to be in the same state of motion. So that's why our body leans in the forward directions. Bus in the rest state. So we are, what is that? Staying in a bus. So suddenly it starts to move from rest state to motion state. Before the bus starts, what is the state of bus? It is in the rest state. So while it is moving, our body try to continue to be stay in the state of rest. So that's why our body, what is that? Leans in the backward directions. Backward direction. So here, if you understand carefully about this concept, examples, we can come to the one conclusion, that is nothing but whenever we try to change the state of an object, definitely what will happen? It will not allow, it will be opposed. Or otherwise, instead of this, I can give some other examples also. So while you are trying to wake up early morning at the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, definitely you are not able. Even though if you are set the alarm will be what give the sound, but you are not wake up. Okay, you can wake up, but switch off the alarm, again just you, what is it? Go for a sleep. Why? Because before you wake up, your body was in a rest state. Immediately if you want to be, what is that? Motion state means your body is not allowed. So that's why you are feeling very tired, not able to wake up like that. Is it yes or no? Why? Because opposing. That is said to be inertia. Not only that. So after 10 or 11 o'clock, while we are going for sleep, immediately within 1 or 2 seconds, we are not getting the sleep, isn't it? It may take some time, 5 or 10 minutes. Why? Because before you are going for the sleep, our body is in a active state. Active state. So immediately, if our body, what is that? If we make our body to move from active to rest, it is not able. Okay, so that's why this is what is that? Opposing property. This opposing property only, what is that? We are saying inertia. And not only that, suppose let us consider object in the rest state. If you are not applying the force, what will happen? The object will not move. It is going to be in the same state of rest. Or if an object is the moving motion state, it will not, if you without applying the force, it will not bring from the motion state to rest state. So what we are saying, inability, it cannot change by itself from move from rest state to motion state or motion state to rest state. So this property only we are saying rest. What is that? Inertia. And the inertia we can divide, or there are what is that? Three types. The first one is inertia of rest. The second one is inertia of motion. Inertia of motion. The third one is inertia of direction. There are three different topics are there under this inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of directions. So let us discuss what is the inertia of rest. The resistance of your body to change its state of rest. To change its state of rest, that is said to be inertia. State of rest. And the inertia of motion is nothing but the resistance of your body to change its state of motion. That is said to be inertia of motion. Inertia of direction is nothing but the resistance of your body to change its direction of moving object. That is said to be inertia of directions.